In other words, how to make a human an ideal human. What are my thoughts about how a human can become an ideal human? See, the fact is we don't actually know what to do. Left to our own devices, our own individuality, the question is always there in our mind, what could I be doing today, which would be the ideal thing that I could be doing, given that I live in a world of conflict. Conflict at every level, right outside the door. People tooting their horns at each other, shaking their fists at each other, people hating each other because they're in opposite political parties, right out to the whole international scene right now. All big Western governments of the world telling everybody that the answer is democracy, and authoritarian governments telling everybody in the world that the answer is authoritarianism, and individual people living under these different governmental regimes. Meanwhile, the world is warming up, the waters are rising, the crops are failing, and millions of people every day are starving, and the world population has just exceeded 8 billion, and we're not 100% sure how to distribute all the resources to get everybody's basic needs met. And here I am, working on my computer, writing a screenplay. How can I? What's the best thing I could be doing right now? And, the answer is there's no way you're going to be able to figure that out just by use of your individual human intellect. The first and biggest mistake people make when confronted with this idea, what's the best thing I could be doing right now? To be the most useful thing I could possibly be for the world. To be an ideal citizen. You'll never figure it out if you're just left to your own devices to figure it out. Oh, you'll try things. You'll try something for 3 years. You'll try something for 5 years. You'll try something for 8 years. You'll try another thing for 3 years, and then you'll realize that 2 decades have gone by and you're still wondering whether you're making a difference to the world. How can I make the maximum difference to the world? By being what? By doing what? Or maybe by letting go of what? How can I be the maximum usefulness to the world? And this is perhaps, if it's not the question in your mind, it should be. We do this by introducing ourselves, our individual self, to our inner big self. And this is not a new idea. When I read Matthew in the New Testament of the Christian Bible, I read Jesus saying to his disciples, the kingdom of heaven is within you. First you seek the kingdom of God, then all else will be added unto you. These ideas have been explored by different cultures, different faiths and religions for decades, and the answer is always the same. Go within. And most people think, well, go within, what does that mean? Within what? I'm sitting here in my body. I've got a brain up here, I think. It's inside of a skull, and here I am sitting in a chair. Okay, what do I do? And the answer is, you close your eyes and begin practicing a technique. But you have to learn it first. It's a little bit like, anything. If you don't have somebody who's an expert showing you how to do it, then you'll try to reinvent the wheel, and it won't be a very good wheel. To learn Vedic meditation is to learn an art and a science. The art has to do with learning a particular pulsation of sound, a bija mantra. Bija, B-I-J-A, is the Sanskrit word, the ancient Indian word for seed, S-E-E-D, seed, like an acorn or a sesame seed or something that can germinate. Bija, mantra, M-A-N-T-R-A, mantra, man, means mind. Tra means a conveyance, a vehicle. Bija mantra. Bija mantra is the kind of mantra you receive when you learn Vedic meditation. I learned all this from my master, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, during my 26 or so years with him in training, starting from the 1960s and leading up to the time of his passing, and now many years after that, still teaching. He learned all of this from his master, Gurudev, who's pictured here on my left. Gurudev Swami Brahmananda Saraswati, the king of the yogis, the undisputed preeminent master of all the masters of India, who in turn learned it from his own master, and it goes back in a tradition like this thousands of years. How to go within. What does it mean? You learn a bija mantra. Not just any old bija mantra. Don't go to a yoga studio and try to learn a bija mantra. They'll teach you some mantra that has some meaning involved in it and involves some kind of mood making. Those mantras are okay if all you want to do is sing and chant. It feels kind of good, you make a good mood and all of that, but you won't be doing any transcending. To transcend means you close your eyes and you learn how to step beyond thought. When you learn your bija mantra from a qualified teacher of Vedic meditation, and you can look at my website, ThomKnoles.com, and see who these teachers are and what their websites are, and learn from them. Then, practicing effortlessly with eyes closed, sitting comfortably in a chair, the mantra starts to draw the mind inward. And it does so through some natural mechanics. The mechanics are, the mantra becomes increasingly charming with each pulsation of thinking it, each repetition of it. It becomes increasingly charming. Our mind, by nature, is designed always to move in the direction of greatest charm, move in the direction of greater happiness. Music in this room, okay. Beautiful music from over there, even better. Mind moves without asking permission. No effort is required for the mind to move to greater happiness. So, when mantra is becoming subtler and subtler, it's becoming more and more charming, you're on your way to the bliss field. The bliss field is the underlying layer that's always there. It's just that it gets covered up with thinking. The bliss field is always there. The mind makes its way from the conscious thinking layers to the bliss field. And then, stepping beyond thought, experiences the unboundedness and saturates the mind. During that moment of unification of individuality and universality, this is the unification of the two. It happens in meditation. That universality, which is also you, it's the big self, that universality informs the individuality what it is that needs to be done. It does this by making that which needs to be done desirable. It makes it desirable. That which needs to be done becomes desirable. And one finds oneself coming out of meditation, 20 minutes of meditation, and into activity, naturally gravitating towards that which is desirable. And nature will support at every step of the way a frictionless flow of movement into that for which you've been built, purpose-built. And then, as the day goes by, the effect of your meditation starts to wear off, so late afternoon, early evening, you dive into that state again. And once again, Allow your awareness to be absorbed in that unboundedness. And once again, a refreshment, a refresher of the mission. What is the mission of the individuality? The dharma of the individuality. And then once again, one finds those things that need to be done are desirable. You move in the direction of that which is desirable, and frictionless flow. And in this way, you become an ideal citizen. It may be that Big Self wants you to be a greengrocer selling asparagus and broccoli and the very best kind of vegetables to the population. And if that's what Big Self wants Small Self to do, then Small Self is going to be highly qualified at being a greengrocer. The best vegetables will be obtained, and the process of buying them from you will make everyone happy. Maybe 800 people will come in a day and buy asparagus and lettuce from you, and in the process of interacting and transacting with you, they'll naturally just carry away some happiness. Someone will say to them, "What's your big secret?" And they'll say, "I don't know, this greengrocer woman. I go there and buy asparagus from her. I come home and I'm just really happy." It may be through that your individuality and its existence can be justified. How do we justify the existence of our individuality? Eating food all the time, drinking water all the time, guzzling things down and pooping everything out, and making a sewage problem, and, we take up space and we have to move from A to B and all that. How do we justify our existence? If we are not bringing value to a collective, if we're not bringing value to the evolution, it can be very hard to justify our existence. But when we transcend the constraints of our individuality during Vedic meditation, and we experience the unboundedness, then that unboundedness comes back into the individual boundaries, informed about what needs to be done now. And it may be that as time changes, instead of being a greengrocer, you end up having the desire to be a chief engineer of a national railway system. And you make those arrangements, and that happens frictionlessly. When we are really doing what it is that we are designed to do, everything comes frictionlessly, one step after another. And then somebody meets you one day at the railway and they say, I noticed that you're retiring from your railway job today. It's amazing to me, but back in Schenectady, New Jersey, I do seem to remember someone who looked just like you selling me asparagus. And you say, "That was me. I used to be an asparagus saleswoman." That was my role in the evolution of things back then. Now I'm into railways, but I'm about to retire. And I'm going to move into international diplomacy. So, what is it that there's no set formula that you can read in a book that says, "Do this and you'll be an ideal citizen." All you're going to get there is people who are ideologues. Through communism, you'll change the world. Through capitalism, you'll change the world. Through libertarianism, you'll change the world. Through religion, you'll change the world. Everybody's pushing their own little barrow about what it is that you should be doing. Don't wait for the world to tell you what you should be doing. Dive within in Vedic meditation and be informed by your own source, the Big Self, the Universal Self. Be informed by the Big Self. What is it I should be doing at any given time? And for that, absolutely essential, non-negotiable, twice-a-day practice of proper Vedic meditation. There are things that people call Vedic meditation because it's become a popular term. Oh, Vedic meditation, you stick a little earplug in iPhone and, say Soham or some ridiculous thing, and then you'll get to Vedic meditation. If the people who are purporting to teach you Vedic meditation are not listed on my website as teaching it, then don't pay any attention. Find somebody who is in good standing with me, from Gurudev to Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, my master, from me through my colleagues whom I've trained to you. Purity of the teaching. Purity of the teaching. And, people can say Vedic about anything. It's not trademarkable. It means something that comes from the Veda. Unless you can see a direct line back through me to Maharishi and Gurudev, probably it's a waste of time. But you want to learn this technique properly, just look at my website, ThomKnoles.com, and you'll learn everything you need to learn. How to get organized with a teacher and someone who can take you through the proper steps of learning. And then all of these mysteries about how to be an ideal citizen, they just melt away because you're living it. And from now, if you're not living it yet, to the point at which you're living it, it could be a month. You can look forward to that a month from today. You could be living your personal role in the evolution of everything. A frictionless life of expanding the happiness of everyone with whom you come in contact daily.